If you've ever finished a day in the garden with scratched up arms, sore fingers, and dirt ground into your nails, this video is going to change the way you garden forever. Today, we're counting down the top 5 best gardening gloves you can buy right now, from good budget-friendly all-rounders all the way to serious thorn-proof gauntlets for rose warriors. Stick around. Number 5. Baidast gardening gloves. These are built around soft deerskin leather. Deerskin is known for being very supple with a beautiful grain, but it is also surprisingly tough, with good abrasion resistance compared with cheaper split leather. The first time I slipped these on for light weeding and planting, the immediate impression was comfort. They feel broken in right out of the package, instead of that stiff cardboard-like feel you get from bargain cowhide. Because the leather is unlined, you get a close contact feel with tools and soil, which is great when you're doing fine work like transplanting seedlings or teasing roots apart. Another thing I appreciated during use was how the deerskin handled getting a bit damp. Some leathers stiffen badly once they dry, but deerskin tends to tolerate moisture better and stay flexible, so after a quick hose off, these didn't turn into boards. That makes them handy for those early morning sessions when everything is still wet with dew, or when you're cleaning up after watering. The grain finish also looks more premium than the typical utility glove, so if you care what your gear looks like, these don't feel like a compromise. However, using them a few weekends in a row did highlight some limitations. Because they're unlined and relatively thin for dexterity, they're not what I'd reach for when tackling heavy brambles, thick rose canes, or any serious thorn work. You can feel sharper points more than in thicker cowhide or pigskin gloves. They're ideal for light-duty gardening and chores, but if you try to push them into heavy-duty territory, you're outside their comfort zone. Fit is another area where you'll want to pay attention. Deerskin naturally has some stretch, and many manufacturers recommend sizing slightly down so the glove starts snug and then molds to your hand. Number 4. COOLJOB gardening gloves. This use a breathable knitted base with a rubber or latex coating on the palms and fingers. The first thing you notice wearing these is how light they are. Compared with leather, they almost disappear on your hands, and the stretch in the polyester base gives you excellent dexterity for grabbing tools, pulling weeds, or tying up plants. They're designed to keep your hands cooler and drier, especially during warm weather, and that breathable backing makes a big difference on hot days when leather can feel swampy. The rubber-coated palm is where these gloves really shine for day-to-day gardening. The coating gives you a strong non-slip grip on tools, pots, and even wet hoses, and it adds just enough padding that your hands don't feel every vibration from the shovel handle. They're also surprisingly durable for their weight. The coating is tough enough to stand up to regular weeding, planting, and cleanup, and the dark colors help hide dirt so they don't look trashed after one session. Being able to simply hose them off or toss them in the wash and hang them to dry makes maintenance almost effortless. Where I found myself a bit more critical is in protection and feel. These are fantastic for general yard work, but they're not the gloves you want for thorny roses or aggressive brambles. The rubber coating and thin fabric can still let sharper thorns through if you push them too far. You feel that trade-off between dexterity and armor. They also don't provide the same abrasion resistance or long-term ruggedness you'd get from a thick leather glove when you're hauling rocks, lumber, or working around rough materials. That said, the value proposition is strong. Packs of multiple pairs mean you can dedicate one pair to gardening, keep another in the car or workshop, and still have backups. 3. OIZEN gardening gloves. This is where we start getting into more serious protection with the OIZEN gardening gloves, made from grain cowhide leather, specifically aimed at thorn-proof gardening tasks. Cowhide is known for its abrasion resistance and durability, and you feel that immediately when you start using these around rough branches, stone edging, or heavy tools. Compared with deerskin, these are a bit stiffer out of the box, but that structure is exactly what you want when you're reaching into hedge interiors or dealing with prickly shrubs. One standout feature with the OIZEN design is the reinforced palm and fingertips, which add a layer of protection right where you need it most when gripping stems or handling tools. There is also foam padding in the palm for extra impact absorption, which I noticed during extended pruning sessions and when pushing a loaded wheelbarrow. Your hands simply feel less beaten up at the end of the day. The back of the glove uses a more breathable, elastic material, helping reduce sweat buildup and making them more comfortable over longer sessions compared with fully enclosed leather. They also pay attention to fit and control. An adjustable hook and loop cuff lets you cinch the glove snugly around your wrist, which helps keep out debris and gives a more secure feel so the glove doesn't shift while you're working. Some versions highlight touchscreen capability on the thumb and forefinger, so you can quickly check your phone or take a garden picture without stripping the gloves off every time. In real use, that's surprisingly handy when you're tracking tasks or answering a call mid-project. The main trade-off, as with most protective leather gloves, is that they're not as cool or as ultra-flexible as the lighter rubber-coated styles. On hotter days, your hands can feel warmer, and there's a short break-in period before they feel truly natural. 2. COOLJOB 6 Pairs Gardening Gloves. This time with their 6-pair gardening glove packs that many home gardeners swear by. These use a breathable polyester knit base with a rubber or foamed latex coating on the palm, similar in concept to the earlier COOLJOB gloves, but optimized as a multi-pair bundle for everyday use. The first thing that stands out is pure practicality. You get multiple pairs in different colors, so you can assign one pair for messy tasks like compost, another for cleaner planting jobs, and still have backups ready. In use, these gloves feel very lightweight and flexible, which is a huge plus for long sessions of weeding, seeding, and transplanting. The seamless knitted base gives a snug, almost sock-like fit over your hands, while the long cuff and elastic wrist help keep soil and debris from trickling inside. On hot days, the breathable backing keeps your hands from turning into sweaty messes, making them particularly comfortable in spring and summer. The rubber or microfoamed latex coating on the palms gives you a confident, non-slip grip on tools in both dry and damp conditions. Whether you're gripping a trowel, pulling stubborn weeds, or carrying wet pots, that coating gives just enough friction without feeling sticky. It also adds durability to the contact areas, so they last far longer than bare cloth gloves. And because they're machine washable and easy to hose off, cleanup is quick. Protection-wise, these gloves are ideal for general gardening and light to moderate yard work. The coating shields your skin from minor abrasions, rough soil, and the occasional soft thorn, but they're not marketed as thorn-proof and shouldn't be your first choice for hardcore rose pruning or tackling brambles. Number 1. HANDLANDY Rose Pruning Gloves. These are my go-to recommendation when protection is the top priority. These are long, gauntlet-style gloves made from pigskin leather with an extended cuff that reaches up toward the elbow to protect both your hands and forearms. The first time I used them on an overgrown rose bed, the difference was immediate. Instead of flinching at every branch, I could confidently reach deep into the bush to cut at the base, knowing my arms were covered. The double-layer padded palms and reinforced fingertips are designed specifically to resist thorns and scratches. And in practice, they do an excellent job of preventing punctures from rose canes, brambles, and other prickly plants. When you grab a thorny stem to steady it for a cut, you feel the pressure but not the stab, which is exactly what you want. The long gauntlet cuff keeps your forearms from getting shredded and also helps shield you from things like poison ivy contact when you're working in wilder areas of the yard. Despite the high level of protection, these gloves stay surprisingly flexible and breathable, thanks to the pigskin leather. Pigskin is naturally tough, but lighter and more forgiving than some very thick cowhides, so you can still maneuver pruners, tie up canes, and pick up smaller branches without feeling like you're wearing armor plates. Over multiple sessions, they softened and molded to my hands while still feeling robust enough for heavy work, which is a rare and welcome combination. Another detail I appreciate is the secure fit. The elastic or shaped wrist area helps keep the glove in place so it doesn't slide around while you're wrestling with branches. That means less chafing and better control of your tools.